If we're going to work on raw images through Adobe Camera Raw, we're almost certain to require masks for our strategic editing needs. With this close-up of a pelican opened up into ACR, what I'd like to do here is to reduce any noise that I may have in my background. Now this image was shot with a 400 ISO. The background's not that bad, but there can be many other images where this is exactly what we need to do. Now the obvious choice here is to go to our masks and we can select the background. But when we click to select the background, it doesn't do a wonderful job. It's taken the background and it's left out the head, but it's also selected the body. Well, we have a new tool in Adobe Camera Raw now, and I'm going to use it to subtract from my mask. So going to the subtract button, I'm going to click that, and this is what I'm going to choose. Select objects. Because now I have a brush, I'm not going to adjust the brush. I think it's just about the right size, but we can use the square bracket keys to the right of the letter P. But now I can just paint over this area to say to Adobe Camera Raw, remove that from the mask that I just asked for. And there I have now the mask just entirely on the background. So I could scroll down to my detailed sliders and I can remove any of the noise that I feel is appropriate. Now I've just deleted that mask because we can come at this from a number of different angles. One of the things we often do if one mask doesn't work is maybe select the opposite and invert. What I mean by that is on this case, if we select the subject, it could do a better job. In fact, here it's done exactly the same. But now I can use exactly the same tool, but instead of subtracting that, I can add it. So if I go to the add button and select objects, I can do exactly the same as I did a few seconds ago. And presumably, Camera Raw is going to give me the result the same as a few moments ago. And there we have it. Now in normal circumstances, we would just touch the X key and we would invert the mask, but it's not working quite right here. So let me reset that. The reason it's not working quite the same is because we're now working with a mask group. We've got the subject selected, but we've also got it almost intersected with an object or an added object. So all we need to do is to go to the mask at the top here, right click those three little dots, and we can invert the mask from there. So one way or another, we get a perfect mask of the background so we can do our strategic editing. Now I've just deleted my mask, and as you can see I've zoomed in to about 58% so we can see the bird's eye, because we can even use that object selector to speed things up there. Normally I would turn to a brush. I would hit the K key and I would brush my mask into place. But maybe we can change tack now. We've got something that works a little bit faster. So if I go to my masks once again, I can go to objects here. There's the brush that I was using a few moments ago. So I can say, well, I want to affect just that part of the bird. So that's done a pretty quick and easy job. So what I need to do here is to go to my light options here because I want to push the shadows up. And I want to push the exposure up to put some sparkle in that eye. And I may even go way down to the detail because we're bringing up detail from shadows here. So if I look a bit closer, let's do that. It's almost certain to have more noise there than I would like. So maybe we can smooth that as well. Now it looks almost too smooth there, but I'm going to suggest that once we hit Control 0, that little edit makes a massive difference to the appeal of this image. Now I suppose we could even think of doing exactly the same with dark plumage just below the bird's head. Because if I go back to my mask options and I select the objects again, then perhaps I could say to Adobe Camera Raw, let's get this a little bigger. I could say, well, I just want to affect that bit of shadow. Can you create a mask just for that for me? And as you can see, I can create that little colouring in. I could make my brush smaller and do the little streak just above, but I think that's probably going to be enough because a little tweak of the shadows again, and we've got a little bit of detail just raised. Let me double click that and you'll see the difference. Let me take away the mask and you can see it even clearer. There's my shadows, so just lifting them a little bit, we just raise the detail very nicely in that area. The new additions to the masks in Adobe Camera Raw for 2023 are magnificent. They're just getting better and better. I'll see you next time.